Hi tubers, welcome back for another adventure. If one is trying to move projects forward kind of quickly, and you know you don't want to get hung up in details, sometimes it's quicker to buy a whole engine rather than rebuild it. And quite honestly, at times it might even be a bit cheaper. This is an example of a Mojave engine. You guys remember I picked up a Mojave, I guess it was last summer. I paid something like $3.25 for it, or make it $3.75. I think I paid $3.75 for it. Well, this motor is meant to go on that, and this motor cost me $425. According to the eBay ad, it ran. So this is a running engine. Kind of steep, yes, but if you take $4.25 and you add it to $3.75, you come up with a reasonable number, right? For $800, I have a nice running Mojave. Typically, those things go $1,200 to $1,500, so I'm a little bit ahead for my efforts. Plus, I have a spare parts motor floating around, and if I do some things like pull the head off of it and sell it, you know, on and on and on, I could actually get a little further ahead. I'm probably not going to, but once again, I could. You buy an eBay engine, and very quickly, because you only have a few days before you can't hold the person who sold it to you responsible, right? They get paid from PayPal, and you're kind of on your own at that point. You can't, you know, after 30 days or so, you can't leave negative feedback. I don't know, 30, 45, whatever it is. So if you buy an eBay motor, you really don't want to fool around. You really want to get it installed fairly quickly to make sure you got what you think you got. This engine came packaged fairly well, but this was stoved in, and he had a bunch of shop rags stuffed in here, so and he had it lying down on this side, so I don't know if it's stoved in transit or if it's stoved, I bought it stoved in or whatever. I'm gonna have to look at the pictures again, but I'm not liking that stoved in. Luckily, once again, I have another engine to put on this thing, so I could just replace the cover or buy another cover. This cover is not all that hard to get one's hands on. So that's the first thing I noticed. Kickstarter's not stripped, which is a good sign. I'm not seeing any damage along here. The oil plug looks good, right? All that looks nice, right? Front motor mount's good. Studs for the exhaust, good. This is the shifter side. I checked to make sure, right, it's not torn up through here from throwing the chain. The sprocket doesn't look half bad. It's probably the original, and once again, it doesn't look half bad. The shifter isn't welded up and messed up, and it still even has the what gear am I in indicator right here. Once again, motor mounts look good. Intake looks normal. The wires are there, just unplugged. This is the reverse cable. So just real quick, you want to look it over. What do I have here? You know, it's quite a thing to find out that this is broken off or something, right? So all that is good. Next thing, you kind of want to pop the head off and take a look at the timing chain. In this case, I kind of messed with the timing chain a little bit here. Let me tighten this back up so I could show you how loose it is. I did not adjust it yet. I just took the timing chain adjuster out to look at it. So your timing chain is about that loose. Is it throwable at this point? It's possible. Or could it have jumped a gear and damaged something? It's possible. Once again, supposedly this is a running engine. The compression's good. It starts up, no smoke, no noises. So, just looking at the overhead cams, right, as I run my finger across, you don't hear click, click, click. There are no grooves or ruts, right? No click, click, click. So, there we are. The other thing is you really kind of want to look it over. There aren't like a lot of Mojave engines, so it's kind of hard to go off the beaten path with it, but I would still look the engine over and very quickly make sure it's the right one to go in your bike. If you get an engine and the next day you call up and say, yo, this isn't right, chances are you're going to get some kind of satisfaction. If you get an engine and you wait 3 months and call up and say, yo, I got a situation here, chances are you're going to get the, yeah, your check already cashed, you know, good luck. This did come from a business, a guy who does this. I don't think he does it for a living, but he does sell engines. So he just as soon have positive feedback. You know, if I get back to him and say, yo, it's no good, chances are he'll do his best to make me happy. About selling engines on eBay, I would never, ever sell an engine on eBay. You get an engine to somebody and it doesn't start. Is it his CDI, his carburetor, right? What's going on, right? Or it does start and his kid, he puts it on the bike and his kid takes it out and runs the heck out of it, runs it out of oil, and the engine goes boom after a week, a month, a couple of months, right? So I personally, for me, I would never ever sell an engine on eBay. I think there's way too much risk. I'd rather look the person in the face and say, hey, when you pay me for this engine and you leave, it's on you. If you happen to get lucky, right, and you know, something goes wrong, I'm going to look at it, but chances are I'm not going to take it back, right? So this is on you. Buyer beware, you own it, your problem, good luck, you know, live a long life, you know, just me. So anyway, I'm going to put just a little more time and effort in with this timing chain here. I'm going to make a decision whether I'm going to keep it or replace it. You know, all this stuff gets a little interesting. Timing chain. You know what? I think I'll do the timing chain. And while I have the head off, I'll seat the valves. You know why? Why don't I do rings, right? Next thing you know, you could be into it for a long way. And what my goal is to get that Mojave running. So I'm going to mess with the adjuster, see if I can't get a little more adjustment out of it to tighten this up. I mean, the chain is good, not great. And the way you tell is you kind of wrap it around the gear as much as possible and see how much play you have. So it's... If you were going to race this bike, you would definitely put a chain on it. Even just checking it, it really could use a timing chain. Let's not fool around. The considering, right, the lobe is up. This lobe's on its way down. To me, the valves seem a little tight too, so I'm probably going to adjust those. Hey tubers, just quickly I want to show you how a timing chain adjuster works. This thing is out all the way, and you could tell because if you put a screwdriver just in the end of this and give it a little turn, let me get in the right place, you can see how I can reel this back in. Then when you let it go, it comes back out to the maximum. And it won't go out any further than that. So the adjuster is at its maximum, which means if I do not put a timing chain in this bike, I'm really, really asking for trouble. The next thing I am going to do, though, I'm going to put it back together again and check the timing to make sure it didn't jump and hit one of the valves, right? If that's the case, I got the same piece of junk I already own. That's what happened to the last Mojave engine, at which time the guy's going to get a note and he's going to get his engine back because he sold me something that already hand grenaded. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.